A long time ago, in a kingdom surrounded by high purple mountains, lived a king named Alaric. King Alaric was very powerful and very rich. He lived in a palace made of white stone, with floors made of silver. He had hundreds of servants who cooked his food, cleaned his clothes, and brushed his horses. Every morning, the king walked onto his balcony. He looked down at the city and heard the people shouting his name. "They love me," Alaric said to his advisors. "I am the greatest king in the world. Surely I am the most loved man who has ever lived." The king believed that because he had gold, everyone was happy. He believed that because he was powerful, his soul must be beautiful. But King Alaric was also a very proud man. He did not go into the streets to talk to the poor. He did not visit the farmers who worked in the hot sun. He stayed in his cool palace and looked at his own reflection in the silver floors. One night, the king could not sleep. He stood in front of a large mirror in his bedroom. He saw his golden crown. He saw his expensive red coat. He saw his face, which was starting to look old. He felt a strange sadness in his heart. "I can see my face," he whispered to the quiet room. "I can see my clothes, but I cannot see my soul. If I am the most loved king, my soul must be the most beautiful thing in the world. I want to see it." The next morning, King Alaric called his messengers. "Go to every village and every town," he ordered. "Tell the people that the king has a challenge. Whoever can show me my own soul will receive a reward of 1,000 gold coins. But if they fail, they must leave the kingdom forever." The messengers rode their horses across the land. They went through deep forests and over rushing rivers. They told everyone about the king's request. In every corner of the kingdom, people started to talk. How can a man see his soul? Is the soul made of light? Is it made of gold? After 1 week, a very rich merchant named Silas came to the palace. He was a greedy man who loved money. He brought a large object covered in a black cloth. "Your Majesty," Silas said, bowing low, "I have traveled to the great desert to find this. It is a mirror made of solid gold. It was polished by 100 workers for 100 days. It is so bright that it shows more than just a face. Surely it will show your soul." The king looked into the gold mirror. He saw his face, but the yellow light of the gold made his skin look pale, and his eyes looked tired. "This is not my soul," the king said angrily. "This is only my face in a very expensive mirror. You have failed. Leave my kingdom at once." Silas was very sad, but he had to leave. He took his gold mirror and walked away through the snow. The next day, a famous artist named Julian arrived. He carried a giant painting. "Your Majesty," Julian said, "a soul cannot be seen in a mirror. It must be captured on paper. I have painted your soul using the most beautiful colors in the world. I used blue from the deep sea and red from the rarest flowers." The king looked at the painting. It showed a giant man with wings made of fire, standing on a mountain of gold. "Is this me?" the king asked. "It is your soul, Majesty," Julian replied. "No," the king said. "This is only a dream. This is what you think a king should look like. It is not my soul. You have failed. Leave my kingdom." The king became very frustrated. He was often angry now. He shouted at his servants. He complained about his food. In a small village far from the palace, a young girl named Alara heard the news. Alara was a peasant girl. She lived in a small house with a leaking roof. Her village was very poor because the king had taken all the water from the local river to fill the fountains in his palace gardens. The farmers' crops were dying, and the children were thirsty. "I will go to the king," Alara said to her father. "Do not go, Alara," her father said worriedly. "The king is angry. If you fail, you will be sent away, and I will never see you again." "If I stay here, we will have no water and no food," Alara replied. "I must try. I do not want the gold. I want the king to see the truth." Alara walked for 3 days. She carried nothing but a small wooden bowl. When she arrived at the palace, the guards laughed at her. "Look at this girl," they shouted. The rich merchant brought gold. The artist brought a great painting. "What do you have in that old wooden bowl?" "I have the truth," Alara said quietly. The king was sitting on his silver throne. He looked bored and cross. "Another one?" he sighed. "What have you brought me, girl? Is it a magic diamond? Is it a secret book?" "I have brought you a bowl of water from the river near my village," Alara said. She walked forward and placed the bowl on a table in front of the king. The king looked into the bowl. The water was a little cloudy and moved back and forth. "Is this a joke?" the king shouted. He was really angry now. "You bring me dirty water and expect a reward? I should throw you in prison." "Please, your majesty, wait," Alara said calmly. "The water is moving because you are shouting. You are angry, and your heart is not quiet. Look at the water now." The king stopped shouting. He sat very still. Slowly, the water in the bowl became still too. The dirt sank to the bottom, and the water became as clear as glass. The king looked down. In the clear water he saw a reflection, but it was not like the reflection in the gold mirror. He did not see his crown. He did not see his red coat. He saw a man with eyes that looked sad and lonely. He saw a man who looked like he had forgotten how to smile. "What is this?" the king whispered. "That is your soul when it is quiet," Alara said. "When you are still and peaceful, you can see yourself clearly. But look again." Alara began to speak about the village. She told the king about the dry fields. She told him about the children who had no water to drink. She told him how the people were suffering so that his fountains could play all day. As greedy and angry thoughts filled his mind, Alara reached out and touched the side of the bowl. The water rippled. The image of the king's face broke into 1,000 pieces and disappeared. "Where did it go?" the king asked, surprised. "Your soul is like the water, Majesty," Alara explained. "When you are greedy or angry, the water ripples. Your soul disappears because you are thinking only of your own power. You cannot see who you are when you are hurting others. But when you help your people, the water stays clear. Only then can you see your true self." The king was silent for a long time. He looked at the wooden bowl, and then he looked at his silver floors and his golden crown. He remembered the merchant and the artist. They had brought him material wealth, but they had not brought him wisdom. This girl who had nothing had shown him the most important thing of all. "You are very wise, Alara," the king said. His voice was no longer loud or angry. "I thought I was the most loved man because I was rich. But the people do not love a king who steals their water. They love a king who sees them." The king did not give Alara the 1,000 gold coins. Instead, he did something much better. He ordered his servants to stop the fountains in the palace gardens. He sent engineers to the village to build a new canal so the farmers would always have water. He sold the silver floors of his palace and used the money to build schools and hospitals. Alara did not have to leave the kingdom. The king asked her to stay at the palace as his chief advisor. "I need someone to tell me when the water is rippling," he said with a smile. Many years passed. King Alaric became a very different man. He woke up early, not to look at his reflection, but to work for his people. He often walked through the city in a simple coat. He talked to the woodcutters and the bakers. He listened to the songs of the children. One day, he walked past the wooden bowl which he kept on a table in the center of the palace. He looked inside. The water was perfectly still and perfectly clear. He saw his reflection, and for the first time in his life, the man in the water was smiling back at him. The people truly loved him now, not because he was powerful, but because he was kind. And in the small villages and the big cities, they told the story of the peasant girl and the wooden bowl.